everyone. Today, Kayla and I are over at Salt and Light with Melinda. She's the owner. So we've got a couple questions for her. So what made you get into pottery?
So it was probably about 5.5, 6 years ago. I took a class when we were on vacation in Santa Fe, New Mexico, with my husband, and I just loved it. I mean, I had sat down before thinking, you know, what would I like to do in terms of a hobby, and I had never thought I could do it until then, and just decided I wanted to take a class and fell in love with everything about it. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah.
And so you offer, or you just opened this, how long ago?
I opened for classes February of 2023, so I've only been open about 1.5 years for classes, and I do offer classes, the wheel hand building classes. People can come in and buy things that I've made, and they can paint them.
Okay, so some of these are some of the examples.
Some of the things we have right now, we have pumpkins, we have magnets. I just made this, which is a butter keeper. It's like where you put the butter in here and you can keep it out on your counter. Lots of mugs. There's a lot of different things, ring holders, jewelry holders.
So you've made all
Yes,
the
I make
pieces
everything.
that you can come in and paint and, and everything.
Do you fire it in a kiln, or do you just let it air dry?
Well, they do have to dry first, but I fire it in a kiln. They're going to be fired twice, and so when you make something with clay, it has to fire. I mean, it has to dry completely. Then you fire it, and this is called bisque. So it would be fired to this, and then you would paint it with glaze. So in ceramics, it's called glaze that goes on it. And then it goes back in the kiln, and it goes over 2,200 degrees until it's completely.
So super hot.
Yes.
Is the kiln here on location?
Yes, it's in another room in there.
Oh wow. So does it get super hot in there?
Yes. Well, we do vent it. We vent it outside, so
so it's not too bad.
It's not too bad.
So how often do you have classes? Do you just, how's that work?
So I will have a full wheel class at least once a month.
Okay.
But then I offer a 1 hour wheel class, 2 hour wheel class, I offer hand building classes, and so it just varies. I probably have more in the last month and this coming month just because of holiday type things.
Okay.
Pumpkins, we're going to be doing cool Christmas trees that are luminaries and little mini houses for Christmas villages. There's a lot of those type of things.
Okay.
But the classes just vary month to month. And
is there a website that you have?
saltandlightpottery.com.
Okay.
That's where people can sign up for the classes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to host like a party or something like that, do you do like an event plan where, you know, people can come in for a birthday or? Cool.
Yeah, I've had people come in for all ages of birthdays. From little ones will come and either make things. I've had kids make pumpkins before when they had a birthday in October, or they paint things. But I've also had people up in their 70s that did a wheel class for a birthday party.
Oh, cool.
So birthdays, bridal parties, I've had different groups come in and make. One group they all made a coaster, and the bride-to-be chose the colors, and then they painted whatever they wanted and did what's called sgraffito, where you're scratching out a design, and then all the coasters went to the bride-to-be as a gift for her home.
Aww.
So they got to do something together.
Yeah, that's kind of sweet.
That's cool.
So walk us through the process of how you start out.
So it depends if you're doing the wheel. If you're doing the wheel or hand building is very different. So if you're on the wheel, you're going to start with a ball of clay, and you're going to, I would teach, it depends on which class we're in, but if we're in the intro class, you would learn how to wedge the clay, center it on the wheel. You have to center it, obviously using water. The wheel's going to be spinning. You have to center, you make a hole, you open, and you're going to pull the walls up if you're making a cylinder or a bowl. Obviously you're going to push down if you're trying to make a plate. But in the intro class, everybody will learn how to make the basic forms on the wheel, which is going to be a plate, a cylinder, and a bowl. And then after that, the next session or the next class would be you're learning how to make a handle, attaching that handle, trimming your pieces, and then if there's time, carving designs into it. And then the third session is coming to learn all about the glaze and glazing it, finishing it.
So is each session in a package deal, or how does?
So there is a full wheel class, which is all 3 of those sessions. There
Okay.
are 3 2-hour sessions that take you from the very beginning of just starting with the ball of clay all the way through it being a fired glazed piece. And that is all together in one class, which is that basic intro wheel class.
Okay.
But the 2-hour intro, you learn how to make those things on the wheel, and then if you take that class, you can decide to either take the next session, or you can just come back and glaze your pieces for a different price, and then, or I would clear glaze them for you. So there's different options for different people.
Do you use different types of clay or just one specific?
Just one. I use a white stoneware clay that's made in Dallas.
So it's easier to paint and see the colors on.
Yes. And it does turn, like it's whiter now. It actually fires all the way to more like a tan, like a light tan color. But it's a good clay to work with in terms of beginners. A stoneware is a good clay. It will hold up. It's not as difficult to work with as something like porcelain,
Okay.
which is hard, but is very durable because it's a stoneware clay. And there are a lot of different colors of clay, but it's just easier in a studio to keep everything the same because some of the clays are very dark and it would stain. And if things aren't clean completely, it would have streaks
Okay.
in here. So
So what are your more popular classes that people take?
people, they like the wheel, obviously. The 2-hour intro, I get a lot of people signing up for that one.
Okay.
I think that it helps people get in to see if they would like it, and then a lot of people decide to take that second session and move forward because they figure out they can do it. Yeah, it's harder than it looks, I think, but a lot of people don't know if they can make anything, and then they're able to make 3 functional pieces, and then they love doing it, so they move on. Some other popular classes are the hand building. You can hand build at the table. People like making mugs.
Okay.
During the holidays, the pumpkin class I've already scheduled. My first class sold out, and I scheduled another one for someone, and it has sold out. And so people like sculpting and making little things. So
Nice.
yeah.
So that's more of like sitting at the table. And so how would you go about, like, it's just a lump of clay and you just form it?
Yeah.
Or...
Well, it depends. There's 3 methods of hand building, and so there's a coil method, and that's what the Christmas tree is going to be, which is what it sounds like. It's like a coil. You make a coil of clay,
Okay.
and then you're wrapping that coil and joining it to form different things. So depending on what you want to form, these are going to be Christmas trees. We'll use a cone, kind of a guide to help people get the right shape. So that's one method. And then there's pinch pot, which is actually, the pumpkins were pinch pots. They were to pinch. You just take a ball of clay, and then you're just pinching out bowls,
Okay.
and then joining it to make a sphere, and then you're shaping and adding
cool.
the other things. So that's another method of hand building, is pinch. And then slab. So the mugs, and I've done summer tumblers before that were slab, the slab method, which is what it sounds like, a slab of clay. So instead of a ball of clay, you're rolling it out into what it would be a slab, and then you're forming and putting those things together.
Oh, cool. All right. So what is your favorite? Is it the building portion or is it the wheel?
I like it all, honestly. If I had to choose hand building or the wheel, I'd probably choose the wheel.
Okay.
But I really enjoy hand building. Hand building forces me to slow down a little bit more. With the wheel, once you know what you're doing, you can make a lot in a little bit of time. Where hand building, you just have to slow down a little bit more in the process. Like if you're pinching out a bowl, I mean, I guess you would get faster over time, but you have to just take your time when you're doing it, which is good too. It's very therapeutic. I find all of it very therapeutic.
Sounds therapeutic.
Yeah.
So if someone knows what they're doing, can they come into, do they rent, a wheel, or say, I want to come in and make something and I know what I'm doing?
Well,
how does that work?
I do have open studio hours, so anybody that completes a class Either all 3 hand building methods or the full wheel class can come to Open Studio.
Okay.
And Open Studio is $10 an hour, $2 a pound of clay, and so they can come and keep making. So if somebody just tells me, a lot of people have told me that they know what they're doing, but then it's been a while, and so they need a refresher, and so they do have to come in at least. We'll set up a time to demonstrate. They basically take a class, but it's a little bit different than a beginner's class, just more about them demonstrating they know what they're doing, how to make the things they're saying, you know, in a way that is sturdy, it won't fall apart, it won't blow up in my kiln, any of those things,
Make a mess in your studio. So what are your hours?
I'm open to the public Wednesday through Saturday, 12 to 6. A lot of my classes are on Tuesday nights or earlier Saturday morning. And so my classes may be outside of those hours, but for somebody that is going to come in and want to buy pottery and paint it or something like that, it's Wednesday through Saturday, 12 to 6. My Open Studio hours are an hour before and after the public hours, so it's Wednesday through Saturday, 11 to 7 for Open Studio.
Awesome. Yeah. Well,
Sounds fun.
if you guys would like, come down or check out our website. She's got a lot of great pieces going on here, so we're going to take a peek around so you can see real quick, and then we'll kind of let you guys go for the day.